Hey friends, it's Nikki. Welcome or welcome back. Today I have a fairly quick project with you, and starting out, I'm using some molds. They're from Redesign's new release, and I'm gonna cast some resin. I'm not using all this resin today, but while I have my resin out, I tend to cast quite a bit. But this resin is 1-to-1 ratio, as all resins are. This cast, the casts are ready in about 10 minutes, but you just mix it up for 30 seconds. Sometimes I mix it up for like 10, 15 seconds. Once it starts to get warm, I'm good to go. You don't want to overmix it because if you do, it's going to freeze right up on you in no time. So I've learned to only mix, maybe a couple ounces at a time because I've wasted a lot of resin over time. But you can just, if you don't have enough, mix up some more and pour it into whatever mold that is not quite full. But I thought I'd leave this part in there. I mean, I know there's a gazillion videos out there of people showing, how to work with resin, but I I just wanted to include it. You never know. But when you first remove your resin pieces, you can mold them. Let's say you have a canister. This is the perfect time to get your mold fit to your canister. Right now they're pliable. You can do a lot with them. But as I said, you can trim them up a little bit and just make sure if you're not going to put it on anything with a curve, that you're just going to want to make sure that you lay it flat. But for today, this is the resin piece that we will be working on. If you've never worked with resin or clay and you're curious about it, I invite you to at least buy one mold. And I can honestly say my first time using it, I thought it was a lot of fun and I instantly fell in love with it. So don't be afraid to try something new. So I went on Etsy and I was looking for some vintage printables of African American women or Black women, but to my disappointment, there weren't very many available. But I did find this gorgeous image. She may be owl generated, I don't know, but she is so elegant and I felt like she was just perfect for this frame. I'm going to give my frame 2 coats of the color Cashew by Waverly. This is such a rich, buttery tone, and it pairs beautifully with a vintage look. So I noticed my frame has air bubbles in it, and I totally spaced it. Typically, I will take rubbing alcohol, and I will spray my mold first, and that's only with resin. And then once I get my resin in my mold, then I'll spray it again with alcohol. But the first step I negated, I completely forgot about it. But if you do that first, you won't have air bubbles. My paint took no time at all to dry, so I was able to continue with my project. And I took some paint, Coutures bronze metallic paint, and I just dry brushed across the whole frame, going a little heavier than usual because I just love how it brings out such a classy aged feel. If you're still with me, I just want to take a moment to say thank you for stopping by my channel if you're new. And I really hope that you enjoy this video today. I do a lot of thrift flips, vintage, shabby chic. I do a little bit of dark academia, if I'm saying that right. Um, but yeah, I hope that you enjoy this. And I have a goal that I'm trying to meet by September 23rd of 1,000 subscribers. So I would appreciate it if you would stick around and help me out. I would love to keep doing this. It makes me so happy and brings me so much joy to create content that people enjoy, and just engaging with people. It gets me out of my little bubble that I get stuck in. So thank you for being here. This little piece of wood came in a bundle, I think from Temu, but it might have been Amazon. I honestly don't remember. It came with a bunch of different shapes and whatnot. This fit perfectly inside my frame, so I just went over the backing with my glue stick. These things work like a charm, and then burnished it down with my hand. And there wasn't much overhang, but I find if I go over it using my fingernail file, it always seems to lock those edges down nicely. I didn't bother with a sealer directly over the image because I was worried that it might bleed, but I'll probably still spray seal it later. At first, I used just hot glue, but later on, I went to pick up my frame and it came apart. So I went in with a little bit of hot glue and some E6000, and that worked perfectly. I checked it the next day and it was on there. I really love how this came out. It just made my heart so happy. Redesign's new molds were the perfect touch for creating this vintage little elegant portrait. It feels like a little piece of history brought right back to life. She's so timeless and classy. I just love how it turned out. I truly hope that you enjoyed this project as much as I did. And if you did, I'd be so thankful if you would give it a like and leave me a comment down below. Your words always mean so much to me. I do read every one. Thanks so much for spending time with me today, guys. All right, until the next one, bye.